둘, 셋, 파! 안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다.
So this week has been stressful.
Yes.
And we were planning on posting our regular episode and a bonus episode this week. But we've actually postponed both of those to next week. And we switched topics just today and decided that we just needed to talk about something that would make us feel really good and make us feel happy.
Feel happy. I think that's really what we both needed. When we went in, we started doing research for our bonus episode plus the other episode that we're going to do for next week. And we just both have been so stressed. There's so much going on right now in the world. I'm sure all of you guys are pretty stressed. So we think that this episode will be really great for you guys too, to just sit down, be relaxed, and have a good time. And that's really what we want right now. It's what we need.
Yeah. So with that, welcome back, Iconics. And if you're new to the podcast, I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bethany, and this is Standing BTS.
Yes.
Yes, welcome to another wonderful episode where we get to hang out for about an hour and just talk about BTS.
What a wonderful hour it is too. But disclaimer, this is an informative fangirl podcast. That means that we're going to fangirl, laugh, and learn a little bit along the way.
Yep, that's right. This is an explicit podcast, though, so if you aren't cool with that, you can dip out now. We won't blame you.
Totally. But if you're down for some, I'm missing BTS so much. I just hope that they're resting and doing well.
Me too. Or I think it's so funny that Dutch media thought Taeyong playing the violin outside a balcony was someone being quarantined in Italy.
Oh my gosh. What a mistake to make.
Yeah.
And to put that on national news. It was pretty funny.
But this is a common thing that happens with BTS is they get misplaced somehow.
Yeah.
You don't know who they are. That's Taeyong of BTS, but whatever.
Come on. Yeah, right. So if you're here for that, then you're in the right place. Today, we are talking about a little bit about what's going on in the world and also about why we love BTS and BTS moments that make us happy.
Yeah, things about BTS that just bring us a lot of joy.
But before we get into it, we want to say thank you, Iconics, for being here and for supporting us. If you would like to support us even further and have access to our Google Docs full of episode notes, important links, and pictures, you can do that by donating monthly to our Patreon at patreon.com/standingbts.
Or if you'd like, you can make a one-time donation at paypal.me/standingbtspodcast. Your support helps us to improve the quality of our content and to continue putting out weekly episodes. Any type of support is super appreciated. We're glad you all are here listening with us.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Also, please, if you are able to, donate with us to our charity of the month that we're supporting, which is the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, or NCADV. We feel very passionate about this cause and this charity. Please donate along with us by going to ncadv.org/donate, or you can donate through joining our Patreon, and the proceeds of our Patreon will also go towards the donation. You can find both by clicking the link in the description.
So, like Kayla was saying, an overview of this episode, we're both just going to give updates on our lives and kind of what's going on in the world right now. And then we're going to get into what we love about each member individually. And then at the end, we'll talk about some of the things in BTS and the fandom, what particularly makes us the most happy, what just really brings us a lot of joy. Okay, so in the Google Doc, we quite literally have coronavirus life updates. Gosh. So you guys may or may not know, I live in Washington State, and I actually live south of King County, where it's probably the biggest hotspot in the United States right now for coronavirus. I also work in healthcare. I'm a occupational therapist, and I also work with the most vulnerable population. I work in a skilled nursing home. So things are crazy. My daily life has changed a lot. And it's just been a whirlwind.
Yeah.
I was planning on moving at the end of the month. Like, our lease was up at the end of the month, and we're getting towards the end of the month now. We're like in the middle of March. We have entire countries that are being quarantined, to stop the spread of the virus. A lot of people are not going to work. Schools are closed. So I had to text my landlord today and be like, hey, in case we have to do a quarantine, which I just heard San Francisco is doing a quarantine, which is crazy. But I'm glad that it's being done, because it's one of the most effective things that we can do right now. So I had to text my landlord and be like, hey, can we extend for a couple weeks, and just in case there's a quarantine that goes on? And thankfully, my landlord was like, oh my gosh, totally. You guys can just stay as long as you need. And traveling from Washington all the way back to Missouri in the midst of this, across the country, sounds like
so
a really
stressful.
bad idea.
Yeah, it does sound like a bad idea.
I'm safe. I'm being super cautious, guys. I my hands. Every time I wash them, I have to put on moisturizer, because my hands will crack, and that's just going to lead to more problems.
Yeah.
So I'm being super, super careful. I'm educating everyone that I come in contact with, and I'm not coming in contact with anyone really now, but my patients, all us coworkers are being really cautious and such. And so, yeah. Disinfecting the house, all that good stuff.
You've been taking precautions for a really long time, as far as United States
before the
goes.
U.S. really started taking action. This past week, the United States has really been taking action. But this happened 2 weeks ago. The first death happened in Washington, in King County. And ever since then, I was like, oh my gosh, this is not good, because I knew it was spreading really fast. I had been in King County. I went to the top tourist spots in Washington that day. And after that, I pretty much was like, all right, I'm going to do everything that I've been hearing that other countries are doing, where it's I limited my contact with people, washed my hands, disinfected surfaces, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I just not, I'm in the Midwest, I'm in Missouri, and, nobody was really taking it seriously here, or, very few people were following it really closely. A lot of people, obviously we knew about it. We knew that it was going on in the world, and that it was in the United States also, but there was no big push for a lot of hand washing, a lot of disinfecting, not shaking hands until 2 weeks ago. And, really just in this last week of, talking about social distancing and, really being aware of the contact that you make with people. And, by Friday, I'm on spring break now. As a teacher, our school district is on spring break, but on Friday, our last day, I was actually wiping down all the desks with disinfectant between every class. That's how hyper aware I was of it, even though there's more almost rumors here and there of cases in Kansas City, but it's not I've seen the news report on it, but I've heard people talk about it. So,
there have been cases, and just having one case can mean that there's multiple others going around, and it just multiplies so quickly.
Right. It's just growing exponentially. So, we have some supplies. We're going to have to go out to the store in a couple days, and hopefully stock up on things like toilet paper that I'm worried about finding, because everybody went crazy and just bought out all the toilet paper. But we actually need it.
We have shower after you shit from now on.
I just
Every
like,
time.
right. Like, what if that's what we have to do? Because we have 3 rolls left and I'm on spring break, so I'm home all the time. So every time I go to the bathroom, I have to use toilet paper. And it seems like such a simple thing that I should be able to get. But, you know, here we are.
We have plenty of toilet paper, but I'm still like, oh, I'm only going to use 2 squares or whatever.
Ration.
Like, I've never done that before.
Well, here's what's crazy is that, like, you know, you talked about schools are closing and the state right next to us, well, right next to me, Illinois, like my parents live in Illinois now, and they said all the schools are already shut down. The state declared it. I hope that Missouri just does that at a state level and just shuts down the schools for a date. My school district has already talked about like what that would look like for us if after spring break we're not coming back to school. We can do online classes and like online instruction. But then it's also like, man, I'm a second year teacher. Like, I don't even have all the experience to be like an amazing teacher all the time normally in class. And now I'm have to come up with super creative ways and like all these different ways to share content and to teach students, you know, virtually, like through the internet. And so
I
I'm
can't
just
imagine
kind of
how it's going to look for you and how different that'll be.
I think it'll be very different. I think it's doable, definitely. And I think it's a great option. I just think that like teachers are going to have to be really flexible and students themselves are going to have to be flexible and be sure to like put the work in. Because that's the only concern I think for me is like slipping, you know, on expectations just because we're not in the regular environment. So it's a lot.
It will work out, and you know, we've just got to do our part. I really think that therapy should not be going on right now. That's my opinion. Maybe people will disagree. I think in this, obviously I believe that therapy is super important, very, very important, but obviously we're in a time of crisis and it's not a priority right now.
Yeah.
And we're just more human bodies going inside to a building that has the most vulnerable population and exposing them to whatever. And I just can't in good conscience keep doing it. Yeah, I kind of really wish that they stop and cancel therapy.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a risk. And, you know, I've also been thinking a lot about like people working in the service industry right now, like wait staff or people working in retail who they have to be there. Like, you know, they don't get PTO. They're all hourly positions. They have to be there. And
there's so many problems
are
going to come from it.
Yeah. And then, you know, if the restaurant or whatever is too slow and they're sent home or, you know, they don't get any, like barely any tips or whatever, they're making no money, you know, and it's just, it's so concerning. Like, I feel like this really needs to be addressed. Like, we need a plan because there's going to be a lot of people like across the board who have economic hardship just because of like, you know, this quarantine, which should be happening. You know, people should stay home as much as possible and practice social distancing when in public. But, you know, this is going to make it really hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
we just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on kind of how it's affecting us. I'm sure it's affecting you guys in all sorts of different ways. If you need someone to reach out and talk to, you can always reach out to both of us. You can reach out on Twitter, Instagram, Gmail, whatever. We're more than happy to talk. But for now, we can just try not to think about it and relax a little bit and just talk about BTS and what we love about each of the members. And then, of course, all the things about BTS and the fandom that just make us so happy and bring us so much joy. Yeah. So we ended up, for all of the members, we put them all in a cup, you know, on a piece of paper, and we pulled them out one by one. So we have a totally random order of how we're going to talk about them. First up is Jin. So we're just going to talk about what our favorite things are about Kim Seokjin. Yeah. And so for me, I think one of the best traits about him is that he can be just in time, like, especially like in times like now, I really shouldn't keep referring back to it, but like I feel like in like stressful or hard times, Jin can just really make any sort of stressful situation a little bit at ease because of his humor. He has the ability to really just bring like a lot of, jokes and be silly and goofy and I just love him for that, his humor and like how lighthearted he can be about things.
I totally agree. I think that's one of his best qualities is just bringing humor into any stressful or like tension-filled situation and, kind of putting everybody at ease. Man, also, he is just such a visual, like, not to totally flip a switch, but
yeah.
I mean, some of the best things about him is like his confidence and how much he wears that confidence just boldly in all of his actions and in his amazing pink puffy lips and broad shoulders and perfect forehead.
Yeah. I also love how dedicated he is to doing his best and working really hard. He has really worked so hard in all of the different skill sets that BTS have to do to perform on stage. His vocals are incredible. They always have been. But like even dancing and visuals and acting skills, like he's just really put his whole heart into all of it. And we can say this about all of them, but like Jin has worked so hard and just having the courage and bravery to like tackle things that maybe he felt uncomfortable with at first, but has, really taken it on and worked really hard. Yeah.
And it's really paid off. And also his vocals are just incredible and powerful. And, He's really something. He's really special.
He's a star.
He's a star in all ways.
He's a moon.
Oh, he's a moon.
No.
Okay, so Jimin. Wow. Jimin is just incredibly hardworking and dedicated, and he is so he's such a perfectionist that he will, force himself to continue to work until he thinks that it is perfect and like he has the highest standards for himself. He also, at the same time, is so caring and loving and supportive to all the other members. Like,
I love how thoughtful he is. Yeah. I feel like he's just so thoughtful.
He is so thoughtful, and he's just so, he's such a great listener to all of his members, and he, just wants everybody to feel better all the time. And I just really love that about him.
Me too. Something I really love about Jimin is just his charisma, his natural charisma and charm. I feel that anyone can get along with him. I love that he sometimes can push boundaries with some of the members and maybe make them feel a little uncomfortable, but like he gets kind of like some fun out of it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like mischievous. I think Jimin is totally a Slytherin. Like I love that kind of mischievous behavior that he has to him.
Yeah, me too. He's he definitely like that gives him that little bit of unapproachable vibe, but you're right, at the same time he's so charismatic. I mean, like he totally has everybody wrapped around his little pinky finger. Yeah.
And he likes to have fun with it a little bit. So next is Hoseok. Man.
Oh.
So what I really love and admire about Hoseok, I mean, I feel like whenever we think of Hoseok, J-Hope, we immediately kind of go to hopeful and how he's our hope and really bright and smiley, and he's just really pushes the idea of like, be happy, be optimistic and positive, which is such a hard, it can be really hard to be that way, especially like in times like now. But, I love that he really pushes ARMY and encourages ARMY to just stay positive even when things are really gloomy. He's really like practiced that positivity in his own life, which I think is such a great example for all of us too, because, he wasn't always, didn't always feel like he fulfilled that name of, having that hopefulness. But I just love that
he has worked on it and practiced so much, and now he does have that kind of outlook on life, and I love that he shares it with us. I love how passionate he is. Like, I think that everything he does, he really puts his whole heart and soul. And I think he's really focused on his goals, or, you know, on what the task is, you know, like he is one of those, we know that he's an early riser and he's very organized, and he's just like prepared and professional and just ready to put his all in everything that he does. And wow.
Yeah. He's so put together.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. He seems like he is really so put together. I also have to add, like, I just think that around all of the members, I just feel like all the members they're all comfortable around each other. But, like, I can't remember where it was from, but someone ended up saying that, like, J-Hope is really that person who can go in between the young line and the Maknae line, and is really fluid with the differences in age.
Yeah.
And that he hangs out with the Maknaes a lot, but like he also hangs out with the youngs a lot. So I just like that has kind of more of a fluid, you know, personality where he can just go in and really mesh with whoever.
Yeah, anybody. Yeah. So Yoongi, man, I love Yoongi so much, and
Me too.
I mean, like, we could literally start talking about every member that way, but
Yeah.
Yoongi is just somebody who deserves every success that he gets so much, because he's worked his ass off his entire life, and he has so much, you know, to give as far as his art goes, and he is such an incredible producer. It's insane. I just think that he is just mind-blowing with his talent. He's so talented. Genius.
Yeah. I really think he's just such a perfect person or example for a lot of younger people to look up to, or not even younger people, anyone. I think that he's, you know, we know a lot about his history and where he's come from, and like what he had to do to even start and be a part of BTS, and then to have him. He's just he's a dreamer, man. He strives for more. He likes to, you know, to have goals and to work towards them. So I really think that he's such a good role model for people. And another thing I really love about Yoongi is kind of the behind the scenes stuff that he does, you know, like, especially when we did like our charity episode, like how much he's done like under the radar. Like, he's so giving, like he wants to help people. He's so charitable. He really is like that person who wants to help people and have people succeed. And I just love that he's like not really forward about it. And he's more kind of like behind the scenes doing it.
He's really caring with his actions and not as much with his words, but I really love that about him. I mean, it's something that we've talked about before, and it's just like he manages to make like little things really special between people. And wow, I'm just thinking about like his gummy smile when he's so happy. Like, wow, I love his smile. And I have his fucking water bottle. Life is good.
Life is good that you have that. All right. Next is Jungkook, our cute baby Maknae, who is so massive. And buff. What I really admire about Jungkook, and we've said this for a lot of them, is like the work and dedication. But he really strives for so many different things. He's worked really hard on dancing. But he's also like given us Golden Closet films. Like, he's really into film. He's, you know, really strives to master a lot of different things, and he's just so incredibly talented. I've talked about this before. Like, he's just that person who's like good at everything. So like, he's already gonna be better than half the normal population of like picking up a new skill or a new hobby or something. Like, he's already kind of gonna be naturally good at it.
Yeah, it's just him.
It's just him. But I love that he's so humble about a lot of it. Like, he's just so incredibly talented and so many different things, but he's just so humble and sweet, and just wants to perform and do his best for all of us.
Yeah, he's really mastered and honed in on so many different skills, and he excels at all of them. And like, he's really not the type of person to be like, I'm good at dance, I'm going to try something else. I'm good at singing, I'm going to try something else. He's somebody who gets really good at something, continues to still work on it, and then he brings other things into his life just, for extra flourishment and exploration. And, like, he is just incredible. So many talents.
And he's just so humble about all of it.
Yes.
I really might. I don't know how he hasn't gotten like really cocky. I think it's because there's 7 of them.
I think all of his older brothers just really kept him down to earth. Like, hey, yeah, you may be the maknae, you may be the lead singer. Yeah, you're fucking wildly talented, but we are humble in this family. You need to, I think they raised him right.
Sweet.
He's so
such
sweet.
A sweetie.
Yeah, our little bunny boy. So Taehyung, wow, okay. What is there not to love about Taehyung, truly? I think what I love most about Taehyung is just like his artist mind, his unique mind and personality that is just like, really, we've talked about this so much, like he's really a once in a lifetime personality to like come across, to experience, because he is just so interesting. He really like owns his truth and just speaks what's honestly him. Yeah, and he embraces it. And I mean, he is truly a super unique person who just like lives their truth every day, I feel.
Wow, that really sums it up for me. I think that's one of the most admirable things about him, is that he has such a different personality, and like he really thinks in such a different way and acts in a different way from a lot of people. And I think a lot of people feel like I don't really fit into the norms of certain societies or ways that we're supposed to be doing things. But he like really has given, I think, a lot of people the idea that it's okay to be yourself and be different and just embody it and embrace it. And that's totally what Taehyung has done. And I love that he's this way. And I know that maybe he can probably be, I don't know, annoying to some of the members at times or whatever, but
they love him all the more for it.
They love him. Yeah. So,
and not to mention that he is so handsome, and his voice is so sultry and amazing and just beautiful. Yeah.
Another thing that I love about Taehyung that kind of goes hand in hand with like keeping his truth and like staying true to himself is like he's not afraid to call people out on shit, and like he's so protective of all of the members. Like I love that he's like, please love all of us, like love all the members. I love that he's like called out crazy shippers. I love that he's, like he really kind of, even though he loves ARMY and stuff, but he's like, hey, don't cross this line or whatever. He's so protective over the other members too. He's just, I love him so much.
Yeah, you truly cannot, you're not allowed to stan Tae unless you also stan OT7. Like, that's his rules.
You can't, like, Taehyung solo stans don't exist.
Yeah, they can't.
He won't accept you.
He won't. It's the truth.
Okay, and lastly is Namjoon. There are so many admirable things about Namjoon. I could go on and on and on about his leadership and how incredible of a leader he is. But really what I want to talk about with Namjoon is I love his like philosophical mind. I really love that he likes to learn and he has so much knowledge, and that he reads a lot. He goes to museums and learns a lot, and he likes to expose himself to a lot of different, different things in the world, like just different approaches or different thoughts. And he really just thinks about them, like he just contemplates a lot. And I love that carries over into his lyrics, and that he's been able to write so many incredible lyrics for all of us armies and for all the people around the world that can like really inspire people, and that he takes that knowledge and puts it into like his own words.
Yeah.
And I just think it's such a wonderful way to like contribute to like the arts of today.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially like referencing so many arts of yesterday, you know, and just making
Putting it into modern terms.
Yeah, and you know, putting obviously his own kind of filter on it, and his own, you know, his own ideas and spin. But yeah, I kind of going along with that. What I really love about Namjoon is just his ability to stay grounded, and the, you know, that he still finds time to do things that he really loves, like taking nature walks or taking bike rides and just kind of getting out. And I think it's really important to have that time. I love having that time. And I just admire him for doing that and for finding that in his schedule and for prioritizing something like really, you know, getting yourself in the right headspace and taking a step back. I love that about him.
Appreciating the world around you.
Yeah.
I do too. Wow, that was great. Just getting to talk about what we love about all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about BTS things that make us the most happy. And this list is kind of long, but screw it. There's so many things that make us happy about BTS and like things that they've provided for us.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that we thought of were V-Lives. V-Lives are so incredible. And Kayla, you've really talked a lot to me about this, about how other artists really aren't doing this.
Yeah.
Where they'll sit down for like an hour and just talk to us and hang out with us and read our comments and respond to some of our questions, or like just sit down and have a meal with us or whatever. So some of the V-Lives that I really love are the V-Lives that have multiple members. I love solo V-Lives too. I do. And I really love watching all their solo V-Lives. But it's really, it's always kind of fun when there's like especially two of them together and they pop up together and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Soap, or it's like Taejoon or whatever, which I'm dying for a Soap V-Live. I would love that. But like Taejoon or that J-Hope V-Live that just came out and like they're like kind of flirting with each other and like I just live for that stuff. I love when they're touchy with each other and they mess around and have a really fun time, and it's really, really just a blast because it's like you're hanging out with them. That's what it feels like. Another set of V-Lives that I just absolutely love, and I've said this multiple times on the podcast, is Namjoon's album reviews, because like we were saying, I just want to know what's going on in Namjoon's head a lot of the times, what he's thinking of when he's writing songs. And so it's so refreshing and nice to like be able to hear what it was like for him to write these songs and what it was like to make these albums. So those are definitely some of my favorite V-Lives.
For sure. I find those so valuable and interesting. And for me, like, I love, you know, all those V-Lives you talked about too, but I really also love solo V-Lives, especially birthday V-Lives and song reviews. For birthday V-Lives, I just love that they take time out of their birthday to like, I mean, oftentimes for like an hour to celebrate with ARMY and to let us celebrate with them and for them to talk about their birthday and and have a glass of wine or, you know, whatever ends up happening.
Cake with them.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to know that they want to be with us on their birthday. Like Yoongi was just so like heart eyes for ARMY. Like, thank you for all the wonderful birthday wishes. Like, he was just so happy that we were like wishing him a happy birthday and he wanted to spend time with us.
Yeah.
Or Hobie too. I loved Hobie's those were the two most recent birthday V-Lives that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I also love solo V-Lives that are like song reviews, kind of like the album reviews too, but you know, them talking about a mixtape or an album like Hope World or Mono, or, you know, talking about a solo track like Chicken Noodle Soup and Promise or Winter Bear. Or even like, I just thought of that V-Live where Yoongi drinks like a bottle of wine and he's working on a song. And wow, just the moments. I just love seeing their pride and their happiness in sharing their music. And
Yeah. I agree.
yeah. Also, we have to mention, if we're talking about V Lives, Eat Jen.
Yeah. Which hasn't been happening lately.
It's been a while.
I think it's an end of an era.
Yeah, but we still love
like,
it.
love those old ones. Yeah, to like go back to.
Yeah.
I love going back and looking at old V Lives.
They definitely make us happy too.
Another thing that we both really love, and something that I especially love, is Bon Voyage. Those are just such a blessing for armies because it's literally them on vacation. And yes, they like have things that they have to do or whatever, but like it looks like they have a generally good time. For me, what makes me really happy when I go back and watch it, especially, is Bon Voyage 2, which is when they were in Hawaii. I don't know what it was about that Bon Voyage that was like it's like so sentimental for me, but they look like they had such a great time in Hawaii together. Like, it's one of my favorites, but all of them have been really, really wonderful.
Yeah. I know. Bon Voyage really is so great and such a blessing, like, to Army.
And there's so many good moments that come out of it. Like, iconic moments that are made during Bon Voyage.
Grubby Jungkook. Another thing that we love about BTS is their concerts. We've been fortunate enough to go to 2 concerts, and both of them were different, but also incredible. Just seeing them live is such a moving experience. Just seeing them in person with your own eyes is so overwhelming and amazing.
I've never gone to a concert and felt like I'm like hanging out with the artist. You know, it's usually just like, oh, I love this song, but I don't feel like an emotional like connection with the artist. Maybe this is just, I haven't had it up to this point. Like maybe if I were to see Paul McCartney, I don't even know if seeing Paul McCartney or Ringo Starr live, I would feel this like level of connection. I would definitely cry probably at both if I went to those concerts. But not like this. Like I really feel that especially when we were in Fort Worth, like seeing them in front of us, even in Chicago, though, like at the end of the concert, when I'm crying, because it's just like, it's like automatic, it hits me very suddenly without much thought at all, or even understanding to why I'm crying. After, like, once I start crying, I start to like feel like the one thing I want to say to you, and that I did say to you, is like, I don't want them to go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sad that they're leaving, because it's just like these people that I really, really love and enjoy and like love them for them as actual people, to see them be leaving. It's like saying goodbye to a friend that you're not going to see for another couple years or whatever.
Yeah, it is so hard. And even people who like aren't able or who have never gone to a concert before, like what's incredible is that there's so many like videos that people post out, or you know, or they big hit themselves release concert videos, you know, at the end of a tour, or you know, there's been the Burn the Stage documentaries, and you're still able to experience like how incredible a concert is. You're able to understand on some level and see some of the amazing moments that happen. They're truly something that, like, I mean, they're BTS's favorite thing to do is to put on concerts and see Army. I think it's such a big reason why they have such a big fan base, is because they put on such incredible concerts. Yeah, just love them.
Yeah. Another thing that we love is fan sign moments. Just seeing them at fan signs and interacting with fans, interacting with each other, kind of playing with a lot of the different things that are gifted to them, wearing like hats and glasses and doing all sorts of fun, goofy stuff.
Yeah.
It's some of the best.
Yeah. We also love seeing them with children, which sometimes we would see them with children at fan signs, or we've seen little clips here and there of, you know, like Taeyoung playing with these younger cousins, or, you know, something like that. And they're just it's just so cute, you know, and they're so good with them. And we just love that. We also love the plethora of Bangtan bombs that we get. There are so many,
Yeah.
innumerable amounts. We really love the behind the scenes and backstage footage that we get, either like from concerts or like for after, comeback performances or whatever, but they are always a blast, and it's always so fun to see kind of the behind the scenes going on.
Yeah, just those candid moments of them interacting with each other. Like they just look like they're having a blast with each other all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, all the time. They make all these behind the scenes or just like backstage stuff like fun and amusing, and it's just really, really nice to watch them, when they're not on stage and just hanging out. Also with Bonton Bombs, we have dance practice videos, which are a blessing. Like dance practice videos are incredible. So grateful to watch them and be able to watch them on repeat. Another thing that we really love are Golden Closet films. This is just Jungkook going the extra mile for our armies and giving us these really wonderful, well-made, heartfelt videos of his youngs. They're like such a blessing. He did not need to do that, and I really am so grateful that he's made as many as he has. But like they're just so great to watch.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you need to feel happy, go watch those.
Yes, I love them so much. It's literally like showing little moments in time, and it's they're also like simultaneously like almost like love letters to his youngs, because they just portray them so well, and the music and everything that goes along with it, the direction, the detail. Yeah, he does such a wonderful job. It's another one of his many talents.
Yes.
I also, oh my gosh, it's been a while, but I love Hope on the Street. I think that J-Hope just sharing his dancing and, just his freestyle is so special and so unique. And it really shows off how fucking talented he is. And I just think that
he's so skillful.
Yeah, so skillful. And I just think that if he had more time, he might post them more often. But, it's always nice when he does like a little Hope on the Street.
Yeah. It just makes me think of, for me, like, I think of 3 particular videos with J-Hope, with Hope on the Street. The first one is where he's like kind of in like Rasta style clothing, like colored clothing, and it's just him, and like he is just like moving and waving his body so perfectly. I'm gonna have to put it in the description because I just really love it. The second one is the one where you're like, this was a while ago, but you're like, have you seen this of Taeyong, where it's Jimin and Hoseok, they're both practicing in like one of their really like old practice studios, and they like call Taeyong to come in, who like storms in with his bike. Like, oh, that's just one of my favorite contents. That's the best one. That will never not make me smile. Yeah. And then the other one is like when he did what was that challenge with the Drake song?
The like Kiki, Do You Love Me? I don't remember what it's called now. Yeah. Yes, I love that one.
Yeah.
He killed it.
Like, such a blessing that we have that too. Every time that shows up on Twitter, I'm like, oh my gosh, like
amazing.
Another thing we really love are their quote on ships, just having fun together, like in pairs, and just seeing how there are different like dynamics and interactions that take place between members, because every single like pairing of each other is just so special and unique, and it's really fun to dive in and just kind of to watch how they interact with each other.
Yeah, for sure. I always think about like all of the different things that they do to crack each other up, and how they may be super different from like member to member and kind of ship by ship, but sometimes like we get those little videos of them just doing little tiny things and they cannot stop laughing. And those just make me so happy. I mean, you can totally find them if you search like BTS laughing videos or something like that. Like, it just makes you happy to hear other people laughing, and I enjoy it so much. Yeah.
I love all the like Young's relationships and all the Maknae's relationships, but I also love like the intertwining of like a Young and a Maknae relationship, kind of like Namkook. Like Namkook, I love like that instant love that they had. Taegi and that relationship, like how I just love Taegi. But also G-Hope too. Like I feel like those three pairings just go so like hand in hand. But like Jin too is such a young for all of the Mach
Jin
Mays,
Cook.
and,
I love Jin
he,
Cook so much. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, just like them sharing, like giving advice or sharing wisdom or supporting one another. It's just like so special. And it's just, I love all of their individual relationships with each other. Obviously I love Tay Cook still. I've really been on the soap bandwagon lately.
You really have.
I really love soap.
Love Soap.
It's like that Black Swan choreo. It just changed.
I mean,
me.
I think Soap is such a
instantly-
powerful duo, you know?
I've always loved soap, but like it's like on fire right now for me.
I still love Minjun so much. I used to be a Yoonmin shipper, and then when we did that Minjun episode, like there was no looking back, and I think they're so
It was
oh my god,
life-changing.
they're so different, but like they're both so hot on their own, and then together it's like fucking wow. And I love their friendship. I just think that they like Jimin is somebody who can level with Namjoon, and they actually like I think listen to each other and respect each other on a certain level like that.
Yeah.
I love them. Obviously,
I love Minjun too. Obviously, I love Minjun. I love like Jimin making Namjoon flustered. Like that's just something I really love about their relationship too. But they're super hot together. I just have to say that, like so hot. And then kind of just like on top of all of this, something that the fandom has really brought is fanfics and just how incredible fanfics are and getting to just see this, you know, kind of different world of interactions with the members and like all the different ships and stuff. It's really, really fun.
Super fun. The imagination that fanfic authors have to tell an incredible story, I am just always astonished by. And wow.
So many talented writers in this
So
fandom.
many. We also really love, and it's always just like a treat for our day whenever they tweet or whenever they post on Weavers, even if it's about tweeting something about themselves or about each other. Typically, I think when they tweet about each other, it ends up being pretty funny. Like it's like a silly birthday post or something like that. We are always blessed to have Selka's, you know, just any time that they post a selfie, it is just amazing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Every time they post a Selka, it's like the absolute best. And it wrecks all of us. And then it just swarms around Twitter and like all sorts of like different media platforms and for like the next like 48 hours.
Some of the best
And we all
ones.
just love on them.
Okay, one I will never forget is Yoongi, like barefaced post shower, hair up in a towel.
Yeah,
Oh my
that one's a really
God.
good one. I think Taeyong has like an after shower one too, where he's like not wearing a shirt. He's got kind of like blondish hair, and it's all like still kind of wet and just kind of like piecey against his forehead. And he's barefaced, and it's close up, and his collarbones are out, and there's like a lot of skin.
And you can see his freckle on his nose, and wow. And okay, you remember the one video that Jin tweeted where he's in the bathroom with some fucking kitchen scissors, and he's
scissors?
like, they're not gonna
my
let me cut my hair. Well, fuck that, I'm cutting my hair. My bangs are too long.
Remember the one that Jungkook posted of him swimming in that pool, like a hotel or something? And people like freaked out because like obviously you can see his like bare shoulders and how muscular he is. But he cut it before he got out of the pool.
Oh my
like,
god,
no.
it was fucking killer. Like that was the best and the worst at the same time.
And we are starting to get like these gym selfies of him, which are so great.
Man.
Something we also love is like they'll post a lot of their pets, and we just live for this. I really, really love seeing all of their pets. But for some reason, I particularly have a soft spot for Hoseok and Mickey.
Aww.
I love, like, first off, he dresses up Mickey, and like I love, like, there's one picture of Mickey where he's got like his own little sofa, like a little pet couch. And it's so cute. Like, he clearly spoils him, but then there's videos of Hoseok just going meow, 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 and like annoying the shit
so
out
cute.
of Mickey.
Yeah. I was gonna say that I'm like partial to Yoongi and Holly. Min Holly,
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
I mean,
them.
aw.
Like, wow, all he wants to do, okay, is lay in bed in a dim room snuggling Holly. Like, oh my god, so freaking
when they
cute.
went on their break, he posted a picture of them cuddling in bed. It was like, I just could
Melted,
die.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess speaking about them posting, one of the best things about BTS is what comes along with it, which is ARMY. And also Stan Twitter. I just love. We both do. We love being on Stan Twitter. And even, being on Instagram, I am so bad and I can't do more than like 3 social medias. So I'm never on Instagram. But we used to, when we first got into the fandom, we made that Instagram account under a different name, and it was just like our fangirl account to like fucking, because we were sending each other like 50 pictures a day. And we're like, we just need to make an Instagram for each other, like that we'll share, and we'll just go on there and post stuff for each other. Yeah. And now we send each other tweets all the time.
Stan Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter's where it's at.
There's just so much info all the time. There's always so much happening, or you can check like anything that's trending in hashtags. And so I'm on that more, but I love the thirst video edits. I love the soft edits too, and all of the fan cams that go viral. Truly, Twitter, ARMY Twitter, Stan Twitter, amazing.
Yeah, I love how there's a lot of support from one another in the fandom on Twitter. I love all the support for BTS on Twitter too, from a lot of armies. I love how like we're all collectively trying to like do hashtags and stuff like that to like them trending, especially around like big moments for them. I feel like it's such a great way to really support them, and I love how excited we all get and how hyped we are for them, especially for those big stages, and seeing them continue to succeed across the world. Like when the Grammys took place, like getting on Billboard charts, Mama performances, whatever it is, like all that stuff. Like I get so excited for it. I mean, we like start counting down like how many days, how many hours until this performance so that we can all like get on, and watch them and support them. It's the best.
It is the best. And just having, this entire community to do that with is so amazing.
And then lastly, one of the things that really makes us happy is connecting their music to like specific happy moments in our lives, and just like listening to albums again and thinking back to these moments in life. I tweeted about this the other day, and a lot of you guys had similar experiences, and I think we all do, where when we are so like religiously listening to certain albums or certain songs, it like takes you back to a moment in life, and it takes you back to like maybe some hardships that you had to go through too, but that you were able to overcome, or how that song was able to get you through it. But also like just happy times. Like I have so many specific songs and albums that take me back to so many specific moments in life, and so it's so, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's kind of nostalgic in a way, but it brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, like for me, I always relive those moments when I'm like blasting BTS in my car with the windows rolled down on like a sunny day, and specifically in like the spring or summer, because it's always so bright and such a good feeling. And I just pull out like Hope World, and just feel fucking incredible, or pulling out Mono when you have some shit that you're going through and you just need a little bit of catharsis and therapy through. Yeah. Or, going back to like Love Yourself, Her, and thinking about our first comeback and watching the AMAs in your condo in Kansas City and having like a party for it. Oh my God.
and doing a bunch of like run BTS games. Like I seriously made all of my non-BTS friends do these.
It was
games.
amazing. It was amazing.
And all of the teams were like ship names.
Yeah, the best.
It was
the best.
I had like helium balloons, and like on the bottom of the string of the helium balloon, I put pictures of all the different members, like all throughout the condo. I went all out, but I love parties. Yeah, it's definitely
so many memories.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
that was this episode, guys. I hope you were able to sit back and relax a little bit and just kind of think about all these really happy, wonderful things about BTS and the fandom and things that we just really love. Maybe this inspired you to go back and
watch them.
Look at some videos, or go back to some Selkas or like pet videos. Maybe go read your favorite fanfic that you absolutely love. Revisit Bon Voyage. I might do that.
Yeah.
These are just all like wonderful ways to be happy and to find some sort of peace of mind.
Yeah. And if you are in an area that's being affected by the coronavirus, do what you can to stay healthy, wash your hands, limit contact with people, stay home as much as you can. And when you do have to go out, just make sure that you're taking precautions. And hopefully when you're staying home, you can do things like listen to this podcast and feel a little bit happier. And like Bethany said, go back and consume some of this content again. Even us just like kind of talking about it and talking through it and just thinking about it makes us feel better. And so we hope that it makes you feel better too, and that you can go back and re-experience it again. Yeah.
Everything
goes, you guys. Hey guys, this is Kayla during the editing process. I know that this is really atypical, and I'm sorry to cut in on the end of the episode like this, but I do have some things that we need to tell you and let you know. Things have changed drastically for Bethany and Corey since we recorded this episode on Monday. It's now Thursday. Bethany and Corey have made the difficult decision to decide to pack up and leave Washington and traverse the country and make it back to home, to St. Louis, before this coronavirus gets any worse here in the States. They really just didn't want to be trapped there in Washington until June or July. So because of this, obviously their stress level is incredibly high. They have so much going on, literally packing up their whole life in one day and trying to make it out of the state. So we will not be able to record or post any episode next week. We were planning on posting an episode as well as our bonus episode to celebrate those 400 reviews on iTunes. And although we have those documents ready to go and the research pretty much done, we just will be unable to record because of Bethany traveling. So sorry to do this to you guys in the middle of this crisis. I know a lot of you have been saying on social media that just listening to the podcast is making you feel better and making you feel less lonely during this quarantine. Hopefully you can go back and listen to some of our older episodes if you are feeling like you're missing us next week. But we will do our best to be back with you guys the week after. Please understand, and we are so sorry for this, but, Bethany and Corey, they just need to do what's best for them right now, and really what they need is to be back and be in a safe, familiar place. So, if you enjoyed this episode, or any of our previous episodes, there's a few things you can do to let us know. You can, please, if you are able, to write a review on iTunes. Any platform that you listen on will do, but specifically iTunes reviews they mean so much to us. And we just reached our 400 reviews on iTunes. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, we'll have a bonus episode next week for that. And you can also, if you enjoyed this episode, you can reach out to us on social media. if you like it, chances are people that you know might like it. So spreading the word is the best thing that you can do. But, you know, reach out to us, DM us, tweet at us, you know, social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You can find links, all of it, you know, all of it. You guys know by now. Why am I even saying it?
Yeah.
You can find links for all of those things in the description.
In the description. Thanks for listening and thanks for standing BTS.